If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
So last week, completely we discussed about the GL accounting and how the concepts of GL accounting works and what are going to be the different types of GL account types we discussed and what is the master data and how the GL accounts are getting created through FS00. We discussed the concept in a very detailed way. Okay, so before we go for some transaction postings, actually, there is some information which I need to provide with the integration with the controlling. Controlling is also very, very important. And also when I go back to the controlling, we discussed about one-to-one relationship and one-to-many relationship, how the controlling area is getting created. I hope you are everybody in the sync with me. Okay, so this is the controlling area we discussed about that and what is the controlling area currency and everything. For example, okay, this is the controlling area. Okay, so you can see here, what is this 30? 30 is going to be called the group currency, but when it comes to the universal general entry, this 30 is also called as. Who can reply this question? Who can reply to my question? The 30 is going to be called as a group currency. I'm right or wrong, all of you?
Yes.
30 is called as a group currency. But when I go into the universal general entry table, okay, the 30 is also called as?
Company code, group company currency.
No, global currency.
Global currency.
We discussed that point, okay? So it is going to be called as a global currency. We call it as a global currency. And here I discussed about why the chart of accounts are very, very important and why the fiscal year and what is the cost center standard hierarchy. We discussed about the concept. Now, here, the system is coming automatically default with a different company code currency. Why different company code currencies are getting displayed automatically? What is the reason for this? I told this. No. Why this different why this different company code currency checkbox got selected default? Why? What is the reason?
Because at company code level, we have set USD as local currency.
No, we discussed this point. I told that how many types of relationships you are going to be maintaining for a controlling area? One-to-one and one-to-many. I'm right or wrong?
Yes, Mahesh. Sorry, I just want to explain.
Yeah, please.
If the controlling area is different to the chart of accounts, one set of chart of accounts, then you maintain that? If there is one-to-many relationships?
No, it is not related to the chart of accounts. It is not related to the chart of accounts. As I told you that, okay, whenever you are assigning, okay, last week we have created one controlling area. If you remember that, for example, if I take a default controlling area A000. Now, this controlling area has been assigned with multiple company codes. Okay, so I told that HP01 is one company code and HP02 is one company code. And I told that HP03 is one company code, and finally, but not the least, okay, HP04 is one company code. So all the 4 company codes should have the same chart of account. I cannot assign a company code which is having a different chart of account other than the remaining 3 chart of accounts. All the company codes should have the same chart of account only. Then only these 4 company codes can be assigned to one controlling area. But the case here is the different currency concept is coming. Why the different currency concept is coming? Because each and every company code is having a different local currency. Here it is going to be the USD, here it is going to be the INR, and here it is going to be the Euro, and here it is going to be the AUD, okay, Australian dollar. Because you have a different company code currency, but one controlling area will have only one currency. That currency type we are maintaining it as a 30. 30 is going to be called as a group currency. So when you are assigning the multiple company codes to one controlling area, then by default, I can see here different company code currency checkbox is selected. When I am assigning only one company code to one controlling area in another scenario, okay, I have only one controlling area, I am assigning only one company code. I am assigning only one company code. As I told you that there will be 2 relationships will be given here. One is one-to-one relationship, another one is one-to-many relationship. In this case, there is only one company code. The company code currency is going to be the USD example. And here, instead of assigning the 30, I will directly go and assign my controlling currency as a 10. Why? Because there is only one company code. Then Here you can see this is called as a one-to-one relationship. In this case, the different company code currency checkbox will not be get selected. Only when you're going to be giving the assignment of company code to the controlling area. There are two relationships are there. When the controlling area same as the company code means you're assigning only one company code to one controlling area. In this case, the different company code currency checkbox will not be selected. If I'm selecting the cross company code cost accounting, what does it mean that? Yes, definitely. More than one company code is assigned to one controlling area. As I told in my previous class also, there will be the cross company code transactions are going to be happen between one company code to another company code. But all these company codes should belong the same controlling area. All these company codes should belong the same controlling area. So in this case, this 30 is called as a global currency. In this case, the 10 is going to be called as a global currency. So you got the understanding now? All of you?
Yes.
Any doubts here? As I told you that, very, very important. All the company codes should have the same chart of account only. And here you can see there are multiple company codes. If I go to the activation of the company codes, if you want to add any other company code, make sure that the company code is having the same chart of account. If the company code is having a different chart of accounts, even though it is the operational chart of account, for example, here, if I see here, in this example, if I go, for example, HP03, this company code is having a GCOA, different chart of account, but all the remaining company codes are having the same chart of account. Example, I'm taking the YCOA and I'm taking the YCOA and I'm taking the YCOA here. Okay. But here, only one company code, if you see here, this is the only one company code which is having the different chart of accounts. This company code can't be assigned to the same controlling area. Remember that. Even though it is the operational chart of account, this company code HP03 cannot be assigned to one company, the same controlling area. Why? Because the chart of account is different from other three company codes. So you cannot assign the company code to this controlling area. Then what I have to do? I need to create a separate controlling area for HP03. And I need to maintain, or you have to go and change the operational chart of account from the YCOA, so from the GCOA to YCOA. Here you can see that option here. So this is where we have discussed about the concept of the controlling area and how we are going to be assigning the controlling area. Okay. Now, when I want to go and activate the components, very, very important. Components are very, very important here. Okay. So for example, if I go to a controlling area, controlling and financial accounting, as I told you that financial accounting is the one component and the controlling is the one component. Actually, both are going to be the different. Controlling is the one component. In financial accounting, what are the components we have? We have different components. GL is one of the components. AP, accounts payable, is one of the component. AR is one of the component. Fixed asset accounting is one of the component. There are different components there in financial accounting. Financial accounting is a module. Financial accounting, we call it as a module. These all are going to be called as a different component. We call them as a ledger and the sub-ledgers. As we discussed in my previous class, okay, I told that the GL is always going to be called as the main ledger. GL is always going to be called as the main ledger. And whereas accounts payable, account receivable, these all are going to be called as the sub-ledgers. We call them as the sub-ledgers. Sub-ledger. These all are going to be called as, sorry, sub-ledgers, not sun-ledgers, sub-ledgers. These all are going to be called as the sub-ledgers. So this is very, very important here. These all are going to be called as the sub-ledgers. Now, when I come to the controlling, this is not the sun ledger. This is going to be called as the sub-ledger. Okay, this is going to be called as sub-ledger. Okay. Now, when I come to the controlling, okay, controlling is also having some different components will be there. First, controlling is mainly for financial accounting is for the external reporting purpose. As I discussed, okay, controlling is for the internal reporting purpose, for the cost accounting. And what are all the components you want to activate in the controlling? Not all the components, based on the industry specific. For a manufacturing company, the product cost controlling and the profitability analysis must be activated. For service related, for telecom industries, if you see any telecom industries like AT&T, Airtel, Verizon, okay, something like we have different types of telecom industries we have. But the telecom industry, some of the components may not be required because there is no manufacturing unit. There is no concept of manufacturing. These all are going to be called as the service oriented. For those service oriented, there is no need to activate any product cost controlling. Some components cannot be activated. So when I take a project here, what are all the components you want to activate? What are all the components you want to activate, and what are the control indicators are there? Yes, we have created the controlling area. If I go back and we see that we have created one controlling area, but what are all the components you want to activate for the year of 2021? So here, if I go to the new entry, here we have a concept called as fiscal year. For the fiscal year 2021 to till 999 means for all the years. Activate the components. Here you can see the activate the components. So cost centers, how the cost will flow from FI to CO. The cost will flow from the cost. These all are going to be called as the cost objects. Cost center is called as the cost object. Internal orders are the cost object. So any object which moves the cost from FI to CO, those objects are going to be called as the cost object. So cost center is the cost object. Without the cost center, I cannot move the cost from the financial accounting to the controlling. As I discussed, yes, very, very important here. So I'm posting one transaction, okay, travel expenses account debit to cash or bank account credit. This is the transaction I'm posting now. Here the travel expenses is a, what type of account it is? It is a primary or secondary?
Primary.
It's a primary. What? Okay. Why we are going to be calling the travel expenses as a primary cost element?
Operational day-to-day use.
Any day-to-day transactions which are getting posted in SAP, and those accounts which belongs to the primary cost elements with the category 01. As I told you that we are going to be assigning the categories. If you go back /O, if I'm creating any account, for example, if I take a one primary cost element, for example, if I take a one travel expenses account, for example, I'm taking this account number. This is going to be called as a travel expenses for hotel and accommodation. I know it is an expenses. It comes under the primary cost. You can see we are selecting the GL account type as a primary cost. We are selecting the GL account type as a primary cost, and it comes under the income. And I told that, okay, there are so many categories we are going to be providing while you're creating. Here you can see cost element category comes under the one. So this is called as the primary cost element. We are going to be categorizing under which account? We are going to be categorizing under the GL account type called as the primary cost elements. So only the primary cost elements which you have created, only the primary cost elements, the accounts which you have created, very, very important. For those primary cost elements, okay, I'm posting some amount called as $1,000. I'm posting some amount called as $1,000 debit. And we are posting some $1,000 credit. You can see here, $1,000 debit and credit. So you call it as a cost or not? The $1,000 is nothing but whatever the amount you are going to be debiting here. This is called as a cost. So you're posting to one of the primary cost element. You're posting to the primary cost element. What is the primary cost element number? The GL account number and the primary cost element numbers are both are same here. You can see 166100300. So this cost, you're posting a transaction in FI. In financial accounting, you're posting this transaction, but this is a cost. This account is going to be triggering with a cost. I would like to see the data should flow from FI to CO. The cost should flow from FI to CO. Sorry. The cost should post from FI to CO. This is the cost. How the cost will be get triggered? This is the FI. This is completely a posting the transaction in financial accounting. But I would like to see the document should be get created in controlling also. Controlling is very, very important. Why? Because I want to have the controlling for the cost accounting. Guys, you forgot it. Guys, I'm telling you, you're forgetting the subject. Whatever the subject we have discussed from the past 2 weeks, okay, before the Diwali and my vacation, okay, you've forgotten the subject. I'm telling again, it is a refresh for you. I think you're not doing the practice in a system, all of you. This all we discussed or not? Yes or no?
Yes, yes. Mhm.
But you people are not doing any practice. No, 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 no. You're investing a lot of amount in the classes, but if you're not doing the practice, no, I cannot accept it. I told about all these primary cost elements, how the primary cost elements are getting created and everything we discussed that. Okay, so now this is the FI transaction you're posting in the GL. So, but this travel expenses account is a GL account, but in controlling, you are creating it as a travel expenses account as a primary cost element. Now, the cost of $1,000 will flow to the controlling through cost object. Through cost object. Through cost object. What is the cost object I'm going to be using? Any one of the cost objects should be assigned so that I can see the $1,000 will flow from the FI to controlling, so that in controlling I can see the $1,000 here, because it is the cost related. It is going to be called as a cost. So in that case, I'm using one of the cost object, which we call it as a cost center. We are using the cost object. We are going to be calling it as a cost center. So this cost center, what it will do, it will carry the cost. Whatever the amount you're posting, amount is going to be the $1,000. The $1,000, okay, the expenses account is called as the primary cost element. So the expenses account is created as the primary cost, and the travel expenses amount is getting posted with $1,000, and this $1,000 will flow to the controlling by using of this cost centers. So cost centers are going to be called as the cost buckets. If I don't activate the cost centers, I cannot use these cost centers as one of the cost objects. There are different types of cost objects, not only the cost center, my dear friends. Not only the cost center is the cost object. We have the cost centers, we have the internal orders, we have the WBS elements. These all are, okay, example, I'm giving some of the examples. These all are going to be called as the cost objects, which will carry the cost from FI to CO. See, for example, I'll take one small example here. Okay, see here. Now I want to post one accounting entry. Now. Okay. So I'm coming to because you're posting the transactions. You already created the master data. You already created all the required configurations for that. But I'm doing the testing now. I'll go for the accounting. I'll go for the financial accounting. I'll go for the general ledger. I'll go for the document entry. Why? Because you're creating a document means I need to come to, this is the end user transaction. This is always going to be called as end users. The end users are posting the day-to-day transactions. So they're coming to the general ledger accounting, they're coming to the document entry. And in the document entry here, you can see there is a transaction code called as the F-02 or FB50. FB50, we call it as a enjoy screen transaction. Both are same. F-02 is going to be called as a general posting. Because, okay, I'll tell you what is FB50 and F-02. First, let me go to the F-02. Today, I'm posting some transactions. Today date is the document date and the posting date. I'm going to be giving the same. See here. The document date and the posting date, I'm going to be giving the same here. And what type of document you're posting here, you can see the document type is going to be called as the SA. What is the SA? Who can tell what is the SA? We discussed about the document types. What is the SA?
Accounting document.
Accounting document for which type of accounts?
GL account.
GL accounting, very good. Okay. Now, in which period I'm posting the transaction? Period 11. Whether the period 11 should be open or it should be closed. So to allow the transaction. Whether the period 11 should be open or it should be closed. If I want to post this transaction, today I'm posting a transaction called as the travel expenses account debit to cash or bank account credit.
Should be open.
Should be open. Definitely should be open. If it is closed, what happens?
It will not allow you to post.
It will not allow you to post the transaction. That is very true. That is very good. Okay. Now I'm posting this amount here. Okay. I'm posting one account. Travel expenses account, I'm going to be the debiting, and the cash or bank account, I'm going to be the crediting now. You can see here, all of you. So now I'm giving this. Okay. Just document number should not be given. Why? Why the document number should not be given? Okay. So if I go to the document types, last few weeks, if you go back, I discussed about this, all the document types. If I go to the document type SA, See, SCA is always, I'm going to be using the SCA. SCA is mainly used for the GL posting. Here you can see what type of accounts are going to be allowed. These all types of accounts are going to be allowed. And what is the number range I given for SCA? SCA, I given the number range as a 01. If I go to the number range information, if I go to the company code, so where is the 01 here? Here it is the 01. You can see I given up to 999 years, means you can go up to 9,999 years. But today we are in 2021. Okay, it will allow. So I have not selected it as an external checkbox. I have not selected it as an external checkbox. It is the internal number range. We can call it as the internal number range. It is the internal number range. You can see you are not selected. If it is the external, if I'm going to be selecting it as the external, then you need to provide the number here. And the number should come within the range of 10002 199999. But already you see that already I posted few. Okay, NR status is nothing but number range status. We can call it as the number range. How many documents you have posted? Okay, already I've posted so many documents you can see here. Okay, already I posted 14,082 documents I posted already. 14,082 documents already posted. So it is showing at the current how many documents. See, if I go to the number range 02, no documents got posted. It is a 0. It is a 0. It is a 0. If I see the number range 03, already 13 documents already posted. If you see the number range 05, already 51 documents already posted. So this is going to be called as the current number range status. How many documents you have posted here? So these are all the documents you are creating under the number range 01. 01 is assigned to which document type? 01 is assigned to the document type called as the SCA, the book number. As I told you that this is a book number. And if I go to this book number, and this was assigned to the company code 1710, number ranges are always maintained. Number range intervals are always maintained at a company code level. My dear friends, this is the number range. This is the number range. You call it as the number range. Number ranges are maintained at a document type level. This is the book. This is going to be called the book number. So you are maintaining at a document type level, but for this number range, you are maintaining some number range intervals. Intervals you are maintaining. Intervals are always maintained at a company code level. This is the number range. But this number range, you are maintaining the intervals. You can see these all are going to be called from which number to which number and which financial year you are going to be maintained. So this is maintained at a company code level. You can see I'm giving the company code for each and every specific company code. There will be separate number ranges you can maintain here. So this number range 01, if you see the number range 01, it is the external, not internal. It is not external. It is the internal because you are not selected the number range as the external here. If you are selecting external checkbox, for example, if you are selecting the external checkbox, then while you posting the transactions, you have to give. While posting the transactions, you have to give one number here. Unless until if you don't provide the number, because you are selecting the SCA document type. For SCA, what is the number range? For SCA, the number range is a 01. But if you are selecting as the external checkbox, you have to give the number manually. The number should come in between 1002 to 199. But don't take the same number which has already posted. You have to take other than these numbers. But I can see it is the internal number range. So leave this field as an empty. Because the system by default, it will select the number range in a sequential order. So you can provide some reference. Okay, reference means, okay, some reference, any reference. Okay, travel expenses. Okay, I'm posting some travel expenses, something like a reference for any, okay, if you are posting some Oracle to SAP, what is the reference document number in the Oracle? What is the reference number? Reference number will make you sure that, okay, it is coming. For example, I'm posting some transactions from the Oracle Mahesh. So I just want to use the Oracle document reference. So this is the Oracle system and this is my SAP system. Example. So in Oracle, already the document got posted. So in the Oracle, the document number is 101. I want to take the same reference of 101 and I want to post in my SAP. Some references you are going to be providing for understanding here. So something here going to be entered. Now, if I come down, here you can see here. If I come down, the posting key 40. What is the 40 here? First line item. I'm entering the first line item. Which account I'm going to be debiting? The travel expenses account is getting debited. So what is 40 here?
Debit.
What?
Debit.
What is credit?
50.
50. Very good. Now, if I see here, I enter all the document header. This is called as the document header information. Which date I'm creating the document, which date I'm posting the document, what type of document you're posting, in which period you're creating, what is the company code, and what in which currency the document is getting posted. It is a local currency. No need to enter any translation date because I'm posting in local currency, not in a foreign currency. My company code currency and the transaction currency both are same. That is the reason you can see I'm not entering any rate here. No other foreign, it is not a foreign currency, it is going to be called as a local currency. So no need to enter any translation date. Why? Because you're posting in a same local currency. Why need to enter any translation? If I'm posting other than USD, if I'm posting in Euro or some other currency like INR or some other currency like Euro, whatever the currency, then I need to enter the rate between the local currency to the foreign currency and what is the translation rate. But if I'm posting the transaction within the same local currency, USD is nothing but your local currency for your company code. No need to enter any rate or the translation date. Go back to my previous class. I told about the indirect quotation, direct quotation, and I explained about what type, how many types of exchange rates are there. M, B, G. M is the bank average, B is the bank selling, and G is going to be called as the bank buying. I explained the concept. Okay, just refer the class. Okay. Now, which account you are debiting? Now, if I come down, the first line item means what is the first line item here? You want to debit some travel expenses account. The first line item I want to debit. So I'm giving the 40 as a debit account. Which account you want to debit? I want to debit this account, Mahesh. Already we have created. This is the account number. What the account number is for the hotel accommodation, travel expenses for hotel. That is the travel expenses, hotel and accommodation. I want to debit some amount to this account. So this is the account number. So you're going to be providing that account number here. Okay, this is the account number. This is the account number. Very, very important. Make sure that this is a very, very important session. Very, very important here. So what I'm going to do, I'm giving the debit means you are giving the debit line item. First, you are entering the debit line item and you are debiting which account? I'm debiting this account. This is called as a GL account. Travel expenses for hotel and accommodation. And here I'm debiting. So where should I give the amount and the account number? Where should I give the amount? So you want to go to the debit line item. So what you have to do, you have to press enter. Once I press enter, automatically what it will do, it will go through my first line item to enter all the details. See here, I'm pressing enter. See, like this. Now, when I press enter, I came to the GL account because you're debiting this GL account and you're given the company code. Now you can see item number 1. This is the item number 1, means line item number 1. Debit is the first line item and the credit is the second line item. There are 2 line items are there. What is the debit line item? Debit line item is called as the travel expenses and the credit line item is going to be called as the cash or bank account. So now you are entering the first line item. Now you are entering the first line item. How much amount? $1,000 USD. $1,000 USD you are going to be the debiting. Your debiting means you can see it is a 40. Debit is nothing but you can see it is a 40. Debit is nothing but you can see here it is a 40. So how much you are debiting? I'm debiting the $1,000 USD. You can see this account is getting debited $1,000 USD. And here these are going to be called as the cost objects. You can see cost center is the cost object. Sales order is a cost object. Order is going to be internal order is the cost object. Network is the cost object. Sales order, WBS element is the cost of. Then we can see different types of cost objects are there. These are the different types of cost, but I want to update the cost object as a cost center. So I'm updating the cost center as the cost object. So what this cost center will do, it will carry the cost of $1,000 USD from FI to CO. From FI to CO. Now here, I'm giving one of the cost center here. I'm giving one of the cost center. Which cost center? Okay, I'll tell you what is the cost centers and everything. See, for example, these all are going to be called as the cost centers. You can see for every cost center, there will be some description will be given here. Okay, and some description will be given here. Now, when I go to the cost center now, okay, see here. Have you activated the components? For 2021, whenever you're doing any postings of the transaction, have you activated the component? If it is the cost center is not active, then you cannot create any cost centers and you cannot use the cost centers while posting the transactions. Very, very important, because the cost center accounting is not activated. No, you're not activated the cost center accounting. Yes, if I go to the previous years, for example, if I go to the previous years, not for 2021, not for 2021, for example. If I go to the previous years, for example, no, okay, I'll come from the starting. If I select the controlling area, if I double click on the component, see, for 1995, you activated, for 2012, you activated, for 2014, you activated. If I go to the 2014 and if I go into the details, you can see the cost center is activated 2014 to 999999. Okay, because for all the years, 2021 is also included in this list. You're activating the controlling, you're activating the cost center accounting from which year? From 2014 already activated, Mr. Mahesh. From 2014 to 2009, from say till 999999. So again, I need to activate. Again, I need to go and activate, for example, for 2012. So 2014. And if I come to the 2012, so 2012 to 2013 only. Means only 2 years you activated. But if I go to the 2014, I activated till 9,999 years. So shall I again go and create a new entry? If I want to activate for 2021, shall I go for a new entry and shall I activate it? No need. Why? Because if I go to the 2014, till from 2014 to 999,999, something 9,099, you already activated all the years. So I don't need a separate line to activate separately for 2021 here. So in this case, if you see here, yes, the cost center is activate component. You are activated the cost centers. You can see here the cost center got activated. If the cost center is not activated, for example, if the cost center is not activated for this controlling area from 2014 to till all the years, then you cannot provide, you cannot create any cost center and you cannot use this cost center as the cost objects. You cannot process this code. Okay, you cannot transfer this cost by using of this cost center to the controlling because your cost center is not activated for your component. That is very, very true. This is very, very true. So it is always should be active component. It always should be active component only. If I don't activate, I cannot create any cost center. First of all, I cannot create any cost center. If I see there are so many cost centers you have created. And order management, internal order is active. Commitment management is active. Activity-based cost center is not active. You can see here. And here you can see projects are activated. Sales orders are activated. Cost objects are activated. So what these all are going to be called as the cost objects. So what are all the cost objects you want to activate? You can activate them as the cost objects. Very, very important here. And here, there is a concept called as other indicators. Mahesh, we don't have these projects. We don't have the sales orders. We don't have this something. Can I deactivate them? Yes, you can. If you have only the cost center, you don't have the projects concept, Mahesh. I don't have this or sales order concept. I don't have this work commitment management. Okay, because in my project, we don't use these all the things as the cost objects. Can I deactivate them? Yes, you can go and deactivate. Simple, you have to select the deactivation checkbox and you can deactivate them. If it is necessary, you are going to be, it depends upon the project to project. It depends upon the project to project, which components should be get activated, which components you are not going to be activated. Not all the components you can see, not all the components can be activated for a project. It depends upon the project to project. And here you can see other indicator. This is very, very important. Other indicators are very, very important. You are selecting the all currencies and company code validation. I'll tell you about what is the variance. All currencies are permitted. Why? Because you are assigning multiple company codes to one controlling area. By default, you can see you cannot deactivate it. Even if you remove these two options can be removed. You can deselect, but all currencies cannot be deactivated. Why? Because I told that for one controlling area, you can see there are multiple controlling area is one, but you are activating multiple company codes. Each and every company code is having a different local currencies. Each and every company code is having a different local currencies. And if I go to the basic data also, if I see my controlling area, here by default, you can see different company code currency checkbox was selected. So here, if I come to the activate components and control indicators, please all of you remember there are two control indicators are there in the controlling. One is going to be called as the all currencies, and the second one is going to be called as the company code validation. So by default, I can see all currencies are selected. Why? Because I selected it because my company code currencies are having a different local currency. So I want to validate all the company codes. If you see here, validation is very, very important. If I go to the company code validation, what is the SAP is telling? Applies only to the cross company code cost accounting and the posting to the external accounting. Okay. You can say this whether the posting to an account assignment object such as a cost center order can be only made for the company code defined in the master data. Definitely 100%. What is this company code validation? When I can select this company code validation? Yes, I'm posting this transaction to which company code? I'm posting this transaction to one of my company code HP10. HP10 is nothing but my company code. I want to validate this company code, my dear friends. I want to validate this company code while I'm posting the transaction. Very, very important. I want to validate company code validation, whether this company code is assigned or not in this list. I want to validate this. Whether this particular cost center you are going to be using, whether the cost center you are going to be using, whether this cost center was created to this company code or not. I want to validate all the specific assignments to the company code. So all currencies and the company code validations are very, very important. What is the variances? Variance is nothing but it is the difference between the planned cost and the actual cost. If you are given the planned cost, okay, if the planned cost is $50,000 but the actual cost at the end of the year, the actual cost is only 45,000 you posted. But what is the difference between the planned and actual? $5,000? Okay, something like $5,000. This is called as the variance. $5,000 is nothing but the variance. So do you want any variance report between the actual and the planned? So that is what exactly the variances you're going to be tracking the hierarchy. So what are the control indicators? There are three control indicators. So one is the all currencies, second one is the variances, third one is going to be called as the company code validation. Is a very, very important. These two are very, very important. If you are going to be using the variances, it doesn't matter. But the all currencies and the company code validations are both very, very important. For what purpose we are going to be using the company code validation? Company code validation is very, very important. Whether whatever the cost objects I activated, whether all the cost objects are activated to my company code or not. It's a very, very important. So whenever you're posting any transaction, the company code validations are very, very important so that the system will allow to validate so that I can use the cost centers. Yes, the cost centers are created to a company code. So which components you want to activate, which components you want to activate, which components you don't want to activate, that is very, very important. And here we have a called as the alternative authorization hierarchy for the cost center, alternative hierarchy for the profit center. Already I created one hierarchy. If I go back to my controlling area, I given one hierarchy here. You can see the cost center standard hierarchy already I given. So this is the main hierarchy. Reporting hierarchy, the cost center reporting hierarchy. We call it as the cost center reporting hierarchy name. So already I've given the hierarchy. And to this hierarchy, what I'm going, this is my hierarchy name. This is my hierarchy. 00001 is nothing but we call it as the cost center. You can give any number, you can give any name. But in this example, the cost center standard hierarchy name I given it as the 001. So this is called as the cost center hierarchy for 8000 controlling area. And for this hierarchy, you can see there are multiple company codes are assigned to one controlling. This is my hierarchy. Under this hierarchy, You can see there are sub nodes are there. Under this hierarchy, you can see this is the hierarchy, and under this hierarchy, you can see there are sub nodes are there. Okay, like this. Okay, this is the hierarchy, and these are going to be called as the sub nodes. And again, under the sub nodes, again you can see some other cost centers you are going to be creating like this. Okay, this is the main hierarchy number you are going to be using. So the hierarchy is going to be called as 001. You can give any name. You can give your name or project name or anything, but there should be some standard hierarchy name should be given while you're creating the controlling area so that you can create some cost centers. Now, this is called as the cost center standard hierarchy. Apart from this, if you want to have some other alternative hierarchy also, yes, you can give some alternative hierarchy for the reporting, alternative hierarchy 1 and alternative hierarchy, but the main hierarchy is always going to be called as 0001. This is the hierarchy name, cost center hierarchy name. Is it clear to all of you? Any doubts?
Yes,
okay, now I'll go to the cost center standard hierarchy now. Okay, go back. Because I need to create the cost centers. I'm just closing the organization. I'm just closing the general. Here you can see the cost center accounting is there. You can see the cost center accounting. And under the cost center accounting, you can see here master data. Under the master data cost center, under the cost center, you can see here cost center standard hierarchy already we have given here. Standard hierarchy already we have given. That is the group name. Group, the highest group name is nothing but you are going to be given. This is called as a group name. Highest group name, this is going to be called as a 0001. If I go to my project hierarchy in my company, what is my project hierarchy? The project hierarchy consists of your account manager, your project manager, project account manager is going to be called as first one. Under the project account manager, okay, there are going to be called as a project managers will be there. Under the project manager, delivery heads will be there. Under the delivery heads, your team leads will be there. Under the team leads, okay, senior consultants are there. Under the senior consultant, this is the hierarchy. This is the project hierarchy. What is your project? My project is nothing but Walmart. This is for the Walmart. This is your project hierarchy. This is the reporting structure. In the same way, the 0001 is the cost center standard hierarchy. Very, very important here. Okay. Now, if I go to the cost center hierarchy, okay, very, very important here. Okay. Now, I am going to be coming to the cost center hierarchy for the different structures we are going to be using. So here come to the defined cost center groups. So already we have created the hierarchy. Don't go for the create the group. Already we have created. So I'll go for the change. In the change, give the controlling area. 8000 is the controlling area. 8000 is controlling area. Always. Why? Because I maintain the cost center standard hierarchy at a controlling area level. So my controlling area is the 8000 and press enter. So this is called as the hierarchy group. Highest group is going to be called as the 000. You assign the 0001 in the controlling area. This is the hierarchy group. This is going to be called as the cost center standard hierarchy. Now I'm pressing enter. Now you can see, for example, this is the hierarchy you are given. Under this hierarchy, see, there are so many cost centers we have created. Now so you can see there are so many cost centers are there. There are so many cost centers are there. See, this all comes under the hierarchy. So if I want to see any reporting for a cost center, I can see individual cost center reports, or if you want to see the complete report, I can see at a hierarchy level also. I can see at a hierarchy. Now you can see here, these all are going to be called as the cost center standard hierarchy. So under this cost center hierarchy, there are subgroups are also there. There are subgroups are also there. You can see there are subgroups are also there. Okay, I'm creating a subgroup. You can see there are subgroups are also there. Mahesh, can you show me one example? How to create a cost center under this hierarchy? I want to see one cost center, Mahesh. Please create a one cost. So like this, so many cost centers are available. I want to create a one cost center for all my travel and expenses. I know that it will come under the financial, but I want to create a separate cost center for all these travel expenses, Mahesh. Whenever you're debiting and creating the travel expenses, these travel expenses should go and trigger with a different cost center, Mahesh. But I don't see that cost center is available here. You can see financial accounting, purchase store. Whenever you're posting any purchase and stores related transaction, I will give this cost center. Like this, I can see all the cost center, Mahesh, but there is no cost center which is related to the travel expenses. So can I create a separate cost center, Mahesh? Yes, definitely. How to create? Now here you should create like this. How to create? I'm coming from the, because you're creating a master record. Okay. So accounting, controlling, you need to come to the controlling. Here we have an option called the cost center accounting. I come to the master data because it is the master data. You're creating the different cost centers. And here, not cost limit, you're creating the cost center. And individual processing, KS01 is the transaction code where you are going to be using the cost centers. Why you're creating a different cost center, Mahesh? Because I just told that whenever you are debiting all my travel expenses, the travel expenses should go to the different cost center, because I don't find the cost center here, Mahesh. If I see all these cost centers, Mahesh, okay, if I see there are 108 cost centers are there, total 108 cost centers, 108 cost centers are there. In this 108, I don't see the cost center with my name. That is for the travel expenses. I see all the cost center, but I don't see the travel expenses. So my management is asking, Mahesh, go and create a new cost center. Okay, now I'm creating the cost center so that this cost will go and trigger to that particular cost center. Okay, right. Create a new cost center. So I'm coming to the transaction code called as a KS01. KS01 is nothing but it is a transaction code you are going to be using for creating the cost center. I'm giving a cost center name. The cost center name should be different from the original cost center. You should not take the same cost center name. You can take any other cost center, because already if I see here, there are so many cost centers you already created. There are 108 cost centers are already created, Mahesh. 108 cost centers are there. You can see these are all cost centers. You cannot take the same name. You can go with a different one. So what I will do, 1101 is there and 12021 is. So 1102 I'll create, 1103 I'll create, because there is some number in it. So I'll take this number and I'll create one more called as a 2. Very good. I'm creating a new cost center. The cost center, because the first 4 alphanumerical values are related to company codes, and this is my identification for my cost center. Okay, very good. Valid from 01/01/2021. I'm giving from the January 1st. The cost center is valid from 01/01, and you can give up to how much at what date you want to take as a validity to. So I given one cost center. Mahesh, the cost center should be only the numerical, or you can take alphanumerical. You can take alphanumerical also. Don't worry. Within any 9-character code, you can take any number cost center. So here I'm creating the cost center at a controlling area level. You can see here for this controlling area, have you assigned your company code to which company code you're posting, HP10, or you're posting to another company code called as the 1710 company code, whichever the company code you're posting. Have you assigned this company code to your controlling area? If not, the cost center cannot be created for your company code. Okay, now see here, validation. That is what exactly I told, that cost center validation. That is what exactly I'm going to be calling it as the cost center company code validation. One of the control indicator, company code validation. Okay, now I given the cost center number and I given the valid from and valid to. Okay, now press enter. Yes, enter the date in a format because it is not accepting in the format. So I need to enter the date in a format. So slash, okay, so let it be slash 01 slash. Okay, right. I given the date format like this. Okay, right. Because it is asking to enter the date format here. Okay. And I'm creating a new cost center now. Press enter. Yes. Now it is giving the transaction. See, very, very important here. What is the name of this cost center? The name of the cost center I'm giving here, travel expenses. For all my travel expenses should go to this particular cost center, travel expenses. So I'm writing the name. Expenses. Okay. Person responsible. Mahesh is responsible for this. I'm giving the Mahesh. Very good. Which department? If you can take the department, this is the admin department. Admin department. Under which category you are creating the cost center? Categories are going to be very, very important. Okay, this comes under which category? This comes, and this is not a marketing, this is not a diagnostic, this is not a development, this is not a production in the product, because it's a travel expenses. I know the travel expenses will come under the administration. Okay, so I'm selecting the administration. The category I'm selecting it as a W. W is nothing but administration. Now, what is the hierarchy you want to take? This is the hierarchy. I want to create the cost center. I want to create the cost center under this hierarchy 0001, because there are so many cost centers are there. There are sub cost centers. There are subgroups are also there. If you come down, you can see there are subgroups, but I don't want to categorize under these groups. Let the cost center should be created. Let the cost center should be created under this hierarchy. The group is a 0001. You can see here. So what is the hierarchy? So the hierarchy, I want to take it as a 0. This is the main hierarchical group I want to select. Under this hierarchy, I would like to see this cost center now. Very good. Just come out from here. Because while I'm creating the cost center, no other screen should be get created. No other screen should be get open. Okay. Now here, this is the company code. Very, very important. Company code validation is very, very important. Company code is very, very important. So can I give any other company code, Mahesh? No, you cannot create a cost center other than the company codes which are not assigned to this controlling area. Very, very important concept. How many company codes are assigned to this controlling area? If I go back and see here, just now I explained you the path, okay? Organization maintain the controlling area. If I double click on the maintain the controlling area, what is my controlling area? 000. If I see here, for this controlling area, how many company codes are there? There are totally 25 company codes are there. So you're creating, this is my controlling area. You're creating the cost center at a controlling area level, but you want to activate this cost center for which company code, Mr. Mahesh? You have to give the company code. You have to give the company code only the list of 25. You should not give, okay, if the system will not accept other than the company code which is not assigned to this controlling area. That is called as the company code validation. Here you're going to be doing the company code validation is very, very 2014. If I see here, company code validation is very, very important. So make sure that the company code you are going to be providing while you're creating the cost center should fall under the same controlling area. So yes, I'm taking the 1710 company code. So I'm giving the 1710 company code. Very, very important. So now there is no concept of business areas. So the hierarchy is going to be coming under this particular hierarchy. And what is the profit center? Yes. Profit centers are the business areas. Actually, profit centers will determine the profit and loss statement. Okay, profit centers are very, very important when you want to have a different profit center. For example, Mahesh, in US, we have 4 regions are there. 1, 2, 3, 4 regions are there in US. But company code is only one. Company code is only one. USA. You have only one company code. HP10 is nothing but company code. Company code is only one, but you have different business areas in US. In New York, you have one operational unit. In New Jersey, you have a separate operational unit. In Washington, in Washington, you have different, and Dallas, you have a different, okay, DL. Dallas, you have different, okay. These are the 4 business areas you have in the same US company, okay, in the USA company. So you will get only the one financial statement at a company code level, but these all are going to be treated as a different business areas. So what I'm going to do, for each and every region, I want to have a separate financial statement, Mahesh. I want a separate financial statement for New York, New Jersey, Washington, and dollars. Okay, I want a separate financial statement, Mahesh. Individual financial statement, very, very important for the reporting purpose. So now what you're going to do in the earlier in SAP ECC, we are creating each and every region as a one business area. Company code is only one, but you have 4 different business areas you have, and for each and every business area, you want to have a separate financial statement. You want to have a separate financial statement. So now in SAP, what we are going to do, each and every business area, I'm going to be creating as a profit center. This is the profit center 1. This is going to be called as the profit center 2, and this is going to be called as the profit center 3, and this is going to be called as the profit center 4. This is called as the profit center 4. So I'm creating each and every region. I'm going to be creating as a separate business area by creating a separate profit center 1, profit center 2, profit center 3, and profit center 4. So I'm going to be having 4 profit centers. If I don't create the profit centers, I cannot have a separate different because every business area is treated as a separate entity. So I'm creating the 4 profit centers, and this, whatever the cost center I'm going to be creating now, whatever the cost center I'm going to be creating, okay, the cost center name is, this is the cost center. So this cost center comes under which profit center? So this cost center 71, okay, this cost center 17101102. This is the cost center I'm creating now. Very, very important. So I'm creating this cost center for a company code, for a controlling area, but this cost center I want to maintain for this profit center, not for PC2, not for PC3, and because the travel expenses are getting incurred to the Newark, the travel expenses are getting, because I'm posting the travel expenses for the Newark region. Cost centers are actuals. Very, very important. Always you have to remember that. Whenever I'm posting any transactions now, travel expenses account debit to cash or bank account credit. Travel expenses account debit to cash or bank account credit. Very, very important. You're posting the travel expenses to the cost center. Example, I'm taking the cost center. So cost center is the actual object. We can call it as the actual. And the second one is going to be called as a statistical object. Actual object, and the second one is statistical object. Both are there. Actual object and the statistical objects. Very, very important. You have to remember these are very, very important for you. Very, very important. These are actual object, and the second one is going to be called as the statistical object. You cannot post any transactions directly to the profit center because profit centers are always going to be called as a statistical in nature. You cannot post any data. If you want to have a financial statement separated for this Newark, you are creating one profit center, but you cannot post any transactions to this profit center because profit centers are always in a statistical in nature. They are not the real object. They are not the real object. So how the transactions are getting posted to this profit center? So these profit centers are assigned to any one of the actual objects. Like you have a cost center. Cost center is the one actual object. Internal order is the one cost object. WBS element is one of the cost of. These all are going to be called as the real objects. We call them as the real objects. Whereas the profit center is always going to be called as a statistical object. So I'll discuss this statistical because it will take a long time for us, or more than half an hour it will take. So I'll take in tomorrow's class what is the statistical and what is the actual object. So that I'm going to be explaining this profit center concept in tomorrow's class.
Mahesh, just one query.
Yeah. Please.
If I want to have same cost center for all the company codes under that chart of account, so here
you can change the company code. One comp means you are going to be creating for different company code.
Okay, so that means I can give multiple company codes. For this.
You can. Not multiple company codes here. You can create the cost center. You can create the cost center because you're already using this, okay? And the number should be different here. Number should be the different.
Okay, that means one cost center can be assigned to only one company?
Only one company code, not more than one company code.
Okay, so I have to create new for another company.
Exactly, you are absolutely right. That is what I'm telling. The company code validation checkbox I selected in the controlling area.
Because this department and everything is generic, so I thought I can use.
You can give anything generic because it is no need to give any specific department here. You can give any production, administration, sales and distribution, finance, anything you can give. So this cost center is a real object. And for this cost center, what I'm going to do, I need to assign one profit center. So tomorrow's class is very, very important. I'm going to be explaining about the real object and the statistical object. Tomorrow is very, very important class. I'm discussing about this. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow in all the classes. Okay. Thank you very much, all of you. Take care.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.